Are you an INFP who feels stuck in the cycle of indecision, yearning to break out? Sucks to be you. No, I'm just kidding. I got you. I'm going to give you a run through on how to use your personality type to get out of this cycle of not being able to decide, having too many ideas, and then leaning into a life that is full of purpose and meaning because you're making decisions that are aligned with your personality type. What's up, legend? Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I'm helping INFPs like myself learn the skills and techniques that I wish I learned when I was younger. I've spent over a decade now studying specifically personality type and applying that to self-development, and I've learned a thing or few. Yeah, I guess that's right. So I'm going to help you apply that right now. So let's go into the dynamics of your personality type. Imagine that your psyche is a fellowship of different parts, different characters. As an INFP, I'm sure you can grok that pretty easily. And we have 4 different characters that show up the most, okay? We have the soul, the explorer, the guardian, and the commander. So we're going to apply those to this problem of indecision, of not being able to decide, of lacking direction, so that we can use these characters and their resources and their skill sets in a more productive way instead of being used by them. So first, you have introverted feeling. Technically, this is your dominant function. This is the soul. This is about checking what is aligned with you, what resonates with your personality type and your identity, your values. So what you're going to want to do in order to get out of indecision is to define your values, define what is important to you. Make a list, make a manifesto that's like, these are the core things that are the North Star, the Polaris star for my life. If you are aligned with those as you're making decisions, then you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more confident in your decision. You know the feeling of being forced or coerced or manipulated in some way or whatever into making decisions that are not aligned with your personality and with your values. So you don't want to do that. That feels horrible, right? But if you don't specifically, clearly define your values, then how do you know when you're doing something that is aligned with it? So I would suggest giving it a name. Creativity, if that's one of your values. Family, if that's one of your values. Also, feeling where it is within your body, understanding the kinesthetics as, okay, it's this solid pillar. It's kind of a dark gray. It feels immovable. That is the feeling that I get when I am aligned with my personality type. Once you've decided those, or defined those rather, then when you are making a decision, you can check in with your soul and say, does this align with me? Is this right? Is it not? And you will be more likely able to act on it quicker than without that, because that's how we make decisions as INFPs. Next up, you want to leverage your extroverted intuiting, NE. This is the explorer within your fellowship of your mind. This is the character that's always like, what if I could do this? What if we did this? Let's just go. Let's go on an adventure. Let's jump on a T-Rex and ride it off into the sunset and see what happens. I don't know, that's the kind of fun, curious, bubbly energy that NE brings. The problem is, because it's always exploring possibilities and ideas, what ifs, options, that leads to this just infinite amount of different options, different ways that you can go. And then because of that, we get confused as to what we should do. It's usually not like we don't have any ideas. It's like, I have too many ideas. I don't know how to narrow them down. So it's important for the explorer to use it and then close it off. Make sure that it's not allowed to brainstorm endlessly. If you say if you don't give it a limit, time limit, I'm going to decide by today. I'm going to decide in 30 minutes. Then you will just keep looking for new ideas, new possibilities, new options. I did this just now. I was on Amazon and I was looking for wallpaper because I want to get rid of this green screen back here. And I was just looking and looking. I'm like wasting time that I could be filming and doing work and doing productive stuff. There's so many options. And so finally I was just like, I'm going to decide in the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so. And that's it. And I did it and I moved on and I'm filming right now. That only happens because there was a deadline. Okay. And also, while I was looking for that wallpaper, I was also checking in, like, does this resonate with me? Does this feel kind of close to identity or something that I want to bring out into the world that I'm okay with? Like, it wasn't a color that clashes with my personality or something like that. It was something that I liked. And that's important too. I was just checking on my camera and I hit my head on the wall. So hopefully you don't see that. I have no sensory awareness. So one of the cool things about the Explorer is that it will find opportunities to get to the things that you want. If you've defined that this is what I want, it will find a way to get there. But you need to define that. And how we define that is usually through our values. Okay, so these characters are all working together. Make sure you understand that and utilize all of their skills instead of just one or two. Next up is introverted sensing, SI. This is the guardian within your personality type, your questing party. It's the one that's got the shield up and it's protecting you. It's making sure that you don't get hurt by new experiences. It's making sure that the explorer stays grounded. And that's good when it's good, but also it is not one of our core strengths. We might think that we're pretty good at it, but we're not really usually that good at it. So make sure that you listen to the guardian, but after the explorer, okay? Take in all the different voices of your personality and know that the guardian is going to want you to implement what worked from the past and then to iterate on it as well and make sure that you are bringing forward into your future stability and something that you can expect to be correct and be right. So likely, as an INFP, you've structured your life in some way to be comfortable, right? That's what the guardian wants, like physical comfort, knowing, expecting like this to happen and it to actually happen. But the guardian's going to say, okay, check in with what happened in the past. Did it work? Did it not work? You can explore different abstractions and connections with your explorer, with NE, and say, what were some things that were kind of similar to this? Like laterally. Okay, me buying wallpaper is kind of similar to me going to a restaurant and trying to decide on what food to eat. Kind of. Okay, and what worked in that circumstance, in that situation, and how can I map that over to this new one? These are different strategies that work in many different contexts that you can bridge over into your current issue with not being able to make a decision. And if you want to get really more tactical with this, you could probably just list what were the best decisions that you made in your life. Where did you feel that decision? What was the decision criteria? How did you make it? What were the causes? And then, and the results. This is the criteria that we need to follow in order to make a decision. This is the strategy that we've used to make a decision. And then trust it, lean into it, maybe journal on it, and use that more and more, and you'll start to understand more and more about how your patterns work. And then the last one, extroverted thinking, TE, the commander. This is the one that causes us a lot of issues because we have all these options. We have all these ideas. Maybe we haven't clearly defined our values and what is important to us. Maybe we have, but still, the commander is the one that is helping us effectively and efficiently structure plans and organize to reach our goals. And that might have just given you the shivers. Like, I don't know how to do that. I don't like those people, whatever. That's a lot of internal baggage that comes from not having good rapport with your commander. Intrapersonal rapport, like making friends with the parts of yourself. But the commander is important. It's kind of this maverick role within your psyche. It's going to run away. It's going to do weird stuff, but you need it on the team if you want to create and structure a life that allows you to live into what your soul wants. So a couple different frameworks that you might want to bring in is like Pareto principle, the 80-20. So like, what is the 20% of the information that is the most important that's going to give you 80% of the impact? Or what are the 20%, maybe the two things that you need to do that are going to way more or be more impactful than the other 8 things? If you just quickly define those, this is kind of introverted thinking as well, right? But if you quickly define those and then take action on them, you're going to make a lot more progress. And progress is going to allow you to feel more confident in your decisions because you're moving towards something. As you are in motion, you are able to direct and adjust better. You cannot steer a parked car. You're not going to get anywhere. I mean, you can try. You're not going to get anywhere. It's not very fun either. Actually, that's kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe this is just what we do all the time. Anyway, you get it. Like, if you want to go somewhere, you need to be in motion. And in order to get into motion, you need to start moving, taking steps, or putting your foot on the gas, if that's the metaphor that we're using here. And the commander is the one that is likely going to be encouraging us to do that. I was going to say pushing us to do that, maybe. But yeah, so 80-20 works. Also, just create a simple plan. Like, this is your goal. Once you've defined that, this is my goal. Break it down into small pieces. Brainstorm different possible ways of getting there, and then take an action. And then check kinesthetically, does it align with me? Does this feel right? Okay, good. Look into the past, what worked before, what didn't work. How can I bring in what worked and do more of what worked instead of doing more of what didn't work? And then move on. Move on with your life and make decisions that resonate with you, that allow you the freedom of exploring and spontaneous fun, and make sure that they are repeatable by checking in with the guardian, and then take action on those, break it down into smaller steps so that you can measure your progress and see your progress as you are moving towards one of your bigger goals.